something to say. Project Shadow starts now.
Hello, and welcome to Project Shadow. My name's Charlie. You might know me better as sci-fi fantasy writer C.E. Dorset, and
I'm Brian.
that's the hubby. You hear me talk about him every now and then. He's been on the podcast a couple times.
Yep,
He's verbose.
I am.
It's hard for me to get a word in edgewise.
I talk so much.
So much talking. It's crazy. Okay, so we're doing something a little bit different today, and I'm really curious what you guys think, because well, we're recording the sound differently, and the way that things are being recorded is different, and it's all different. This is kind of, in a way, a test for what I'm thinking about doing for National Novel Writing Month, where I would be recording the episodes kind of like this, kind of extemporaneously throughout the day, and then releasing it all at once.
Yep.
So, yeah. The good thing is, because I can't use the noise canceling software I normally use, you will hear the dog click-clacking all around, because she does that, and I can't stop that, because Sasha rules us all.
Yeah. Yes, she does. She's doing her patrol.
That's what she do.
Yep.
Okay, so what we wanted to talk to you today, and it's why it's a super special episode that actually has the Brian with us, is we finally watched Antman and Wasp.
Yay! It's out now.
It's out. Okay, so I want to explain for people who are new to the podcast, because I know there are quite a few of you out there, and hi!
Hello.
It's kind of awesome. Anyway, I have really bad leg and back problems, and our theater sucks.
Yeah. We have friends that go to they drive to Cape, so that's like an hour and a half.
Yeah, about an hour and a half.
About an hour and a half drive just to go to a comfortable theater.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
So, I don't like doing that because, well, I don't like Cape, and
It's an hour and a half one way.
yeah.
Yes, she's...
And now the dog is playing with the ball.
Yep.
So, you're going to have all kinds of sounds today.
Background noises.
Background noises.
We'll call them effects.
So, yeah, I don't like doing that because I don't like going all the way out there, and yeah. So, I am very picky about what movies we actually go to the theater to see.
It's tough.
It has to be it has to be a movie that I'm pretty sure I'm absolutely going to love, and that without seeing it in the theater, it will not be as good an experience. And that's why for both of the Ant-Man movies now, we actually waited for them to come out to watch them. And it's nothing against the movies, but, you know, you expect an Avengers movie to be kind of crazy with the special effects and whatnot, and I was also much more excited about the Avengers movies, and, you know, even we actually waited for Doc Strange, just to put this in context, and y'all know how much I love Benedict Cumberbatch, so I don't know how well the dog's being recorded, but it's cracking me up because she's going crazy with her ball through everywhere right now.
Yeah.
She doesn't know what to do. It's weird. Mommy and Daddy are doing strange things, so she feels like she needs to show out. This is one of those few moments I kind of wish we did a video podcast, because I just put the camera on the dog.
Yeah, because she's actually picking up the tennis ball and throwing it.
Yes. And then chasing it.
And then chasing after it.
Because it's what she do. Anyway, so for first thoughts, we're currently going to be doing no spoilers. Then we'll get into some spoiler stuff afterwards. What did you think of the movie?
I really enjoyed it. I laughed. I was very entertained. Yeah, it's definitely an honor.
I think enjoyed is a very good way to think about this movie. I liked it. I had fun with it. I'm not one of those people that likes to rank movies, especially rank franchise movies, and say, well, I like this one more than this one, or anything. But I I didn't like it as much as I did the first Ant-Man movie. I thought the first Ant-Man movie had a bit more whimsy to it, and that was something that I really loved about the first one. This one, it had heart.
Yes.
And I'm not against heart, but I was expecting the whimsy, especially after the downer ending of Infinity War, and this was the movie that came next. I was expecting much more comedy than I got. I mean, it's still there, and the joke I laughed at hardest was actually a repeat of a joke from the first movie, but it was still really, really funny, and in a very different context, and it made me laugh really hard. So, okay.
Yeah.
That's the thing that happened.
For those of you that get this through iTunes, this will probably be on the DVD also. Don't be afraid to kind of look around a little bit at, like, you don't necessarily have to, we didn't actually watch any of the deleted scenes or anything like that. We kind of thumbed through the menu a bit.
Yeah, the deleted scenes. There's 2 minutes of deleted scenes.
Yeah, a whole bunch of them. We'll watch that later.
All 2 minutes.
But there was this thing about the online magic school, and it's
a fun running joke.
It's a fun running joke, and actually I think it might have been even funnier at least it was for me.
Yeah, for me.
Seeing that and going, what the heck, and how is that related? And then actually
seeing how it's related.
How it's related is hilarious. At least I found it so, especially because of the foreknowledge.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one a lot. Again, I always hate to say this when I talk about a comic book movie, but this felt a lot more like a comic book movie. Like, you got to put a pause in there because it felt like a comic book in a way that, only a few of the movies to me really have, in that, like, it was a lot of the action was framed in the way that you would see it in a panel. A lot of the beats were kind of the beats you would expect in kind of a 4-part arc in a comic book series. It really felt, in a good way, comic booky.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the other ones in the Marvel settings, they're like an action adventure movie with superheroes involved, or they're not really a whodunit, but kind of. They had some whodunits with superheroes involved. They're always like they write them as if they're writing a film of a style, and then superheroes are involved instead of doing a superhero movie. I mean, I think that's one of the things that really does help them to stand out and why they're so good. And then, so when you get to something like this where, it still has that caper type stuff to it.
This feels like the natural. This series, what I enjoy about the Ant-Man movies is they feel like the natural inheritor of the Adam West Batman series.
Yeah,
and that really hurts me to say, because DC should be doing the natural inheritor to anything Batman.
Yes,
because they should.
They should.
I'll put the can of worms over here. That might be an episode on a later date.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, this is a good movie. It was not a great movie, like, not going to change your life. If you are not a Marvel completist and you're not interested in it, I don't think it's not necessary to the overarching plot of the universe, maybe.
Theories on that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that in the spoiler section. And then, again, it probably won't be necessary because they'll do a brief recap.
Yeah, because they'll do a tie-in, so you could technically skip it.
Yeah, so if you're interested, watch it. If you're not interested, the first one I thought was so funny, you should see it anyway. Yeah. Whether you thought you'd like it or not, it kind of fit in that Guardians of the Galaxy bucket. That whether or not you think it's the kind of movie you would like, you should definitely see it anyway because it's that funny.
Yeah.
This one was funny, but it wasn't really sequel-y in the way that, that word gets used as being a sequel, but it really was much more dealing with the relationships between the characters that were previously established in the first movie. It does presume you've seen the first movie and doesn't explain who anybody is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah. And it
that.
kind of presumes that you've also seen Civil War a little bit. Because
I don't think so. I think it recaps Civil War.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There are two scenes
times where he's bragging, and so
there are two scenes where they basically explain Ant-Man in Civil War.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen that, anyway, it's a good movie.
If you haven't seen that and you're watching Ant-Man, I'm going, what, dude?
No, it's.
I guess you could just be a big Ant-Man fan
Or a Paul Rudd fan. People
or Paul
love
Rudd
Paul.
fan. Yeah, that's true.
We were talking about that before we watched the movie.
Yeah,
There's something weird about Paul Rudd that, I just kind of sigh and go, it's probably going to be at least a halfway decent movie.
He's compelling. Yeah.
He shouldn't be. There's I don't know what it is.
No.
Voodoo.
Yeah.
That man sold his soul and not for rock and roll.
Yeah.
Though oddly, I could have seen him doing it for rock and roll and it might have worked.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other topic. Okay, so now it is spoiler time. Okay, so that sound means that we are ready for spoilers. Brian picked it.
Yeah, it was really dramatic. I almost wanted to come back and be like, so there was a guy and he did stuff, and give you the most generic, actually, not spoilery section. But, no.
So I think the biggest spoiler that we have to talk about first is the one in the end credits. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
That ant is so good playing the drums, man.
Yeah. He is totally smart.
That ant is so good at it. First of all,
smart Alec.
How do I get a set of electric drums like that?
Smart Alec.
What? Me?
Yes. Although I will admit, my first thought was, with half the population gone, there's a good chance that ant's going to be running around that house doing his daily routine till it's the end of its days.
No, seriously. I want that drum set.
That drum set was cool.
I fell in love with playing with drums when I was playing Rock Band all the time. And the idea of a drum set that I could literally plug my headphones into so I wouldn't bother the neighbors and actually play drums. I want that drum set. I want it now, and I want it in my office. I'm going to have to look for that.
Yeah, it was really cool looking.
And then it played it really well.
The ant played it very well.
So many ants died in the production of this movie.
Yeah, darn seagulls.
Darn seagulls. Mine. Oh my goodness. Okay.
For those who had the unfortune of having to fend off seagulls, oh my goodness.
See, I'm surprised there weren't more seagulls. I've been on the Embarcadero.
Yeah, they're that aggressive down there, and they're like that. But then again, they're also like that.
I left my heart. Yeah. Oh, San Francisco.
Yeah.
Oh, San Francisco, how I love thee. Let me count the ways. Anyway, yeah, let's actually go back a little bit. So the basic movie is ghost wants thing, people on the run, dude on house arrest. Yeah. I mean, the plot was... Once they gave that throwaway line in Avengers Infinity War, a lot of the plot kind of... It's... Okay, so he's going to be on house arrest, and he's going to be sneaking around trying to do things so that people don't know that he's doing things.
Yeah.
When they were basically like, why don't we call Ant-Man? Oh, he's on house arrest. Yeah, in a weird way, that one stupid line from Infinity War spoiled the vast majority of this movie because I already figured out what it was going to be.
I was luckily enough to turn off large parts of my brain at the beginning, and so at
that's
least...
just because...
Oh, where'd I go? Quantum entanglement, sucker!
Okay, first of all, can I just say, If you're writing science fiction, don't use the word quantum unless you're quoting Einstein or Niels Bohr or somebody of that caliber. I'm done.
Hey, what? Can't we all just say quantum in front of things?
No! Okay, a quantum is merely a discrete packet of energy. That's all that means. That's all it means.
Yeah.
And because the actual word that they wanted to use for half the stuff they were talking about was Planck. Not quantum, it was Planck. They were actually shrinking down to the point where you're almost at... because that's the smallest unit that could theoretically ever exist. Because below that, there's nothing, and that's what they were wanting to say through the entire movie, but they kept saying quantum because people are not educated, or they didn't think people are educated enough.
Quantum sounds sexier than Planck.
Planck width.
Planck dimension.
Planck width.
Planck width. What? I think he's about to plank me upside my head.
One moment, you're about to hear some abuse. Bad bro.
Ooh, interrogators involved. You got the puppy police on you.
Yes, I did. Okay, so that was a joke, everyone. That was a joke.
She polices shenanigans, also.
Okay, that's one of the things that kind of annoyed me. I am.
I mean, at least it took a moment midway through the movie to poke fun at.
They did.
They said quantum so much.
I just. I feel that movies like this, especially just about any sci-fi movie, would be better without the balonium and without the technobabble.
Yeah, but that requires Googling things.
No, you don't even have to Google things. I don't need to know how any of this works. It's magic. It's a guy who has a little magic wand that's got a button on it that makes cars big, makes cars small, and makes buildings big and makes buildings small, and he can throw little frisbees at things that make them either big or small depending on their magical color. I don't need to know more than that.
I'm also laughing because the first multiple times they went down to Planck level.
You don't have to say that.
They went down to the quantum dimension. Charlie couldn't help himself but to go, Dormammu?
Dormammu?
Which was kind of a fun Doctor Strange reference.
I love Doctor Strange too much.
Yeah, he did go through all these different dimensions, so he may have run... It did kind of look like he jumped through the quantum dimension.
I have a feeling some of that footage was reused from...
Yeah, probably. Hey, why not? You spent all that money on the effect.
If not, the algorithm that generated the effect was reused.
Yeah.
One or the other, it had a moment. Oh, Cumberbatch. Okay, sorry, we're in a Paul Rudd movie.
Yeah.
Not a Cumberbatch movie.
So at the beginning, I yes, because I knew that he was going to be under house arrest and stuff, so when they did the whole, like, oh, he's going to be off house arrest in a couple days, I went... Oh, okay, so he's going to get off house arrest and then everything's going to start. Like, I actually got suckered into it for just a moment. Yeah, until the bathtub.
Yeah.
The bathtub scene.
The bathtub scene. As soon as they went, we're going to put Paul Rudd in a bathtub, I was like, this is not going to end well.
Yeah. It's not as sexy as it sounds.
Well, Paul Rudd's not as sexy as it sounds.
I don't know, maybe
he always plays the leading man, and the only time he was even almost cute about it, he was kind of dating his sister, and that was a weird movie.
Oh, yeah, that was...
I love Clueless. I love Clueless with all my heart, even though the one lady ended up being a little crazy, and she's 30 in the movie, by the way. The girl who plays Cher. Not Cher, Dee. She's 30. She's 30 in that movie. She's 30. That actress is 30.
Yeah.
She lied to me. I've never gotten over it. We watched Wrinkle in Time the other day, and I just sat back and went, how many of these little kids are actually little kids, and how many of them are 30?
Yeah.
I've been damaged from Clueless. But no, you know, the best scene in the entire movie is the scene of him playing with his daughter.
Yeah.
And I don't want that to sound like I'm taking away from any of the action scenes or anything else in there.
No, but it was early on. It goes back to, like you were saying earlier. It was a lot of heart.
Yeah,
and it looked like a lot of fun, and it kind of made me wish I had more stairs.
Yes,
because I have plenty of cardboard and duct tape, and I could so totally do that.
Yes. No, that was my favorite scene in the entire movie, and in some weird way, I was wanting that to pay off somewhere. There are two things that made me not the happiest with this movie, and that's the whole Chekhov's gun thing. If you put a gun on the table, it should pay off at some point. Sleight of hand magic.
You got the running joke from the feds kicking his door in every time they think he's gone.
That was separate.
There was not a whole payoff. Well, the whole like playing with his daughter ended with both the trophy and his foot going out of bounds.
Yes, no, it told us two other things, but
yeah,
the close-up magic never paid off. It was a joke. It was a running joke through the whole thing.
Yeah.
But honestly, I wanted to see him like flip his hand. Oh, you want the remote? Here's the remote. Oh, where did it go?
Yeah.
You know, and if it just would have happened one time in a fight with Ghost. It would have paid off more.
It would have been so much better in a fight with Ghost.
Because they spent so much time building up that he had learned.
Because for the well-actuallys out there, they're gonna point at the giant suit, but really that was presented earlier when he jumped at the suit, the Ghost suit, when they broke into Ghost's hideout.
That's not close-up magic, though.
It's the misdirection thing, which is part of the close-up magic thing.
Okay, it's the rule of three. You show it once to let us know that it's there. You show it to us again to remind us.
Yeah.
And then it pays off somewhere. They showed him doing the card trick at the beginning of the movie. They showed the FBI agent practicing the card trick and messing it up later in the movie. The card trick never comes up again.
Yeah. Which like, and that's why I also agree. I just wanted to put the other one out there because he even goes, ooh, close-up magic or something like that, which... The suit was not a payoff for that.
No, it wasn't.
Even though I'm pretty sure that's where it was meant to be. Because, like you said, it would have been much better with the remote at some point. Or something along those lines, yeah.
Because it was repeated so many times,
yeah.
I expected it to pay off at some point. That even if it was just in a fight with her, that he did the whole coin behind the ear, and it was one of the size coins, and he shrunk her down or something.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying? Like
that actually would be pretty cool.
All right. Like, they set me up to expect Scott to be performing close-up magic throughout the movie, and didn't deliver. And I get that was in there as a joke. It did repeat as a joke. I'm not trying to say that the joke wasn't funny. The joke was hilarious, especially when the guy busted in on the guy on the FBI, his FBI captain or whatever, and he was all embarrassed because he was watching the card trick and messing it up, and was acted like he got caught with porn.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
Yeah, it was, but they didn't come back around with that, which is a bummer because. Yeah, I mean, it would have been cooler in one of those things.
And the other thing with the slide, I kind of wanted that to pay off somewhere. I got very excited when they got to I call it the Candyland Road. I can't remember what it's called. And
yeah, it really, if you haven't been to San Francisco, it's pretty much the Candyland Road. It's like a real life road that when you feel like, yeah. It's in, like, so many movies.
You drive slowly and hopefully you have good brakes.
Yeah. The only way down that thing is slowly or wreck.
It's terrifying getting on the road because you feel like you're going off a cliff.
It is kind of roller coastery feeling, yeah.
And I thought that we were going to somehow get a payoff for the whole down the steps thing that we saw with that. Because I did...
Okay.
That's on me. I'm not blaming the movie for that. I thought that was where we were going to get payoff for that because it reminded me of because remember, they went to the left and then they went to the right and then they went spit down the spiral.
I was so caught up on, oh my gosh, you're actually going to do a chase down this road. And I went, well, actually, at small size, you could go really fast down it. And it would, they did a couple, like, San Francisco filmed tropes for chase scenes. But because they used size differences, it kind of worked for comedic value. Like that one road that drops, I can't remember the name of the road, but It is. It's one of those, you don't go fast down it, or you will bottom out. I mean, it's
There are several of those.
yeah, several of those. But
It's called anyone that goes up to the top of a hill.
Kinda, yeah.
If it goes up a hill or down a hill in San Francisco, you will bottom out if you're going too fast. And that's every road in San Francisco, except for the very few that go across the side of the hill.
Yeah.
And even those somehow end up always going up or down, because there's only up or down.
There is only up or down.
San Francisco is what happens when the mirror universe from Doc Strange gets broken and comes into our reality.
That's why I laughed when they knocked the one car over and it falls. They're already going downhill, but they knock it over and it goes downhill, and you're just like, wait a minute, but they're going, you're a little confused. No, trust me, that happens.
Everything's downhill.
I made the mistake once. I had to go into the city for a meeting, and I took one exit off the BART and had to walk uphill to get to the meeting. And then when I left, I went to a different station, and I ended up going uphill to get to the BART. And it was the same BART, I just picked two different paths, and it just happened both paths left me. At some point, I had to have gone downhill, but I still, to this day, don't understand the physics of it.
It's San Francisco.
It's San Francisco. If you plot your course wrong or right, you'll go all uphill or all downhill. Both ways.
What nobody realizes is Relay is secretly in the bay.
Yeah, it was.
That's what Angel Island is. That's the tip of Cthulhu's temple sticking up out of the water.
It would make so much sense.
Anyway, yeah. I don't feel like there's a lot to talk about plot-wise.
Yeah,
the acting,
the
acting was good.
The acting was good.
The story,
the little girl was
fun.
acting.
The little
was
girl
amazing.
was great.
She was amazing. Yeah, I just found myself handing him over. I'm like, I expect great things from this one.
Yeah, because she's one of those people that, who knows where her career will go, but it reminded me of a young Haley Joel Osment or oh crap, I just lost his name. Frodo from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I'm terrible with names.
Yeah, I'm not going to look him up. You know who I'm talking about.
That guy.
That guy. The guy that's in a lot of stuff lately that I really, really like. Including that new Douglas Adams series that I'm completely blanking on the name of, that I think got a second series, but I don't know. Douglas Adams does Doctor Who, except for it's not Doctor Who, but it is.
Hitchhiker's Guide?
No.
Okay.
No. The one with the... We watched it last year with the cult.
Oh,
their Instagram said that they had new episodes coming.
Oh, I hope so. That was really fun.
Oh, my brain's fried.
I forgot the name of it, too.
Yeah, I watched Paul
Yeah.
Rudd.
Now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, it's one of those, entertaining romp. Not a whole lot. So, but then you get to the end, and he goes back to the quantum dimension to collect particles so they can do things with them.
So Ghost apparently isn't healed, and then You didn't wait for me to finish my sentence.
I get excited. Sorry. And it was like, okay.
And if you couldn't hear, because I don't know, he snapped his finger.
Yeah.
He just decided not to do it close to the mic. Yeah. So at least now we know where everything happened. And
so, and for those of you who are able to partially turn off your brain during a movie like this, it will be a shocking moment.
Yeah.
I should have been expecting. I mean, it's going to happen. We all expect it now, and we know it happened at some point.
See, I'm going to have to check next time I watch the movie, because when they're showing Giant Man at the Embarcadero actually in the bay, one of the TVs should have shown one of the giant donuts, maybe. I'm trying to figure out where in time this is.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that
would be...
nothing was referenced from Infinity War, including the giant donuts in New York or...
Yeah, there was no...
London?
Yeah.
They were in England, weren't they? Scarlet Witch and...
No, I thought it was I was thinking Amsterdam or something.
Yeah, I don't remember. They were in Europe.
There was a train station involved. in
Yeah,
Europe.
that's called Europe.
There's lots of them over there.
Love you, all you people over there.
Yeah, it's nice. Must be nice to have
So-
public transit.
As long as you're not in Poland, you have a better leader than us. And that includes you in England.
Wow. We'll talk later on that. That's sad.
Yeah. Of all the countries you'd think would try fascism, that's not the one that would be high on my list. Anyway,
Yeah. Wow.
that's shocking, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little worse than mine a little bit. Anyway. Yeah, the end was the most blatant sequel call out that I've ever seen. It's obvious what's going to happen next, and whether it's in Captain Marvel or in Infinity War Endgame, I'm calling it now. I don't know what it's going to be. They released that sample picture with the AE, very obvious in it, so I'm... Doc Strange said Endgame like 1,000 times in Infinity War, so I'm going with...
That's the working
Avengers
title
Endgame.
around this house.
Yeah.
Since we have no involvement in the creative process of that at all.
No, I wish I did. Because
Yeah.
I'm so excited about Crimes of Grindelwald. If you haven't heard that episode from last week, definitely go check that out. Because I've gotten a lot of comments from people, and I want to see the movie that I talked about, but I don't think it's the movie that's actually going to happen.
Yeah.
Might have to write it myself. Anyway, he's going to get hit one of the weird time tunnel thingies that she warned him not to hit, and show up in one of the past time travel-y, timey-wimey things that they're going to use to defeat Thanos in the next Avengers movie.
Which I kind of think maybe they're... I was all going, oh, he's going to show up in the 80s. I think it's set in the 80s, right?
I think Captain Marvel said.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's where I get confused, because I thought it was set in either the 80s or the 90s, and then the Wonder Woman poster came out, and that's actually set in 1984, I believe. And then I went, wait a minute, did I confuse Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman?
I thought they said 80s, but we'll say 80s
so
for
too.
now. And
I thought so too,
Yeah.
because basically doing what I really wanted, and for those of you who do not know me, I do not mean this in a sexist or demeaning manner, I wanted a chick Top Gun. Because that would have been the perfect way to introduce Captain Marvel.
that would be amazing, actually.
And when I originally heard that it was going to happen in the past, probably in the 80s, I kind of wanted, I wanted Iceman and Goose and all of them, and then something goes terribly
Iceman,
wrong.
Goose, Danvers,
And something goes... And her call sign is Marvel because she's such a good pilot.
Yeah.
And something goes terribly wrong. She becomes Captain Marvel, because who knows if they're going to give us the actual Marvel. I don't know what they're going to do for her origin story, but something goes terribly wrong. She becomes Captain Marvel, and then on with the rest of the story.
Yeah.
But I really wanted it to open like a Top Gun movie. And we still might get that.
Yeah. They still might, but that would be fun. But and I think if he does show up in it, he's probably going to pop out towards the end.
Yeah. Post-credit scene.
Post-credit scene. And yeah.
So, I don't like to do star ratings or any of that crap because it's all crap. So, see it.
Yeah, watch it.
Watch it. It's good. It's funny. If you
Yeah.
like funny, watch it. If you like action movies, watch it.
Yeah. If you
It's-
like buddy comedies, I think it'd fit in buddy comedies.
Yeah.
I mean-
if you want a good family film,
Yeah.
I haven't seen something that I would call a family film, but his relationship with his daughter and that through line throughout the movie was very, very good. I enjoyed it. Wasn't as good as the first one. If you didn't like the first one, you probably won't like this one.
Yeah, if you didn't like the first one, definitely
'Cause-
don't watch this one.
The shtick is the
Yeah.
shtick.
Yeah.
Including the funniest joke in the movie, which was honestly the funniest joke in the first movie. They just did it again, slightly differently, but it was worth it. I enjoyed it. Definitely go see it. Anything else? Anything to add?
Yeah, I think that's about it.
All right. So thank you all for listening. I really want to know what you think about this. I know the sound's not as clean, and you can probably hear my doggy prancing around and doing things every now and then. But hey, that's how it is. She just got really nervous when I started talking about her. Hi, Sasha. But you can probably hear her in the background on the other podcasts anyway too, because well, she click clacks.
Yep.
What can I say? I've got a dog who knows how to sashay. You should know that about me by now. And let me know what you think about this. Might be doing this a bit more. If you like this episode, and the app that you're listening to me in allows you to click and rate either this episode or the podcast itself, please do that. It helps out a lot. It really does, especially on iTunes. Like, I want to get the podcast featured over there, and that requires ratings. So, if you're listening to me on iTunes, please rate. If you're ever so inclined, and you think somebody that you know might like this episode, share it with them, or just share it, on the social media thingy. If you want to follow me on any of the social medias, I'm CE Dorset on probably everything that you're going to look me up on, because I try to get that name there, except for I'm not on, like, a lot of things, because I hate everything. But I'm definitely that on the Twitter. You can get a link to all of my social media that I actually do kind of sort of pay attention to, but mostly Twitter, over at projectshadow.com. Find a link to it all there. If you want to support me financially, it's really easy to do in whatever app you're listening to me on. There may be a little support button right next to the play button in some of the apps. If you click that, you can, or if not there, go into the show notes. You'll see a support on Anchor. Click that. You can support me at the $1, $5, $10 levels. I have nothing to say about that, because that's just what they do. But they chose those. I didn't. But that would be lovely, because, like, I'm probably going to have to buy a new mic soon, and I'm probably going to have to rebuy some of the software I use to make the podcast, and now that's cheap, and so I love you. Give me money. Is that self-serving enough? Are you happy now, Bob?
You're bad at it.
I am. I'm terrible at it. I don't like asking for money, man. It's weird, but yeah, it really does help out a lot. If you want to support everything that I do, including my fiction, you can go to patreon.com/CEDorset. And yeah, you can find a link to everything that I do at projectshadow.com. Until next time, I'm Charlie.
Brian.
Don't forget to have the fun. Bye.